The film opens with a tense scene. Former FinCEN director Raymond King, in a bar under surveillance by a group of hitmen, clearly dangerous territory, meets a mysterious woman named Anais. He hands her an old family photo and begs her to help him find them. But things quickly get complicated. King is ambushed and killed with a precious gunshot in an attack orchestrated by a ruthless hitman named Cobb, while Anais escapes with her life. Later, authorities discover a cryptic message written on King's arm.
Why'd you ask if he was having money problems?
And so, just like that, the search begins. That message compels Mary Beth Medina, now acting director and privy to Christian Wolff's dark past and unconventional skills, to search for the infamous accountant, despite all the warning signs telling her not to. But the message leaves her no choice. Christian, long off the grid and living under the radar, poses as just another quiet small-town accountant. But beneath the surface, his mind still operates with surgical precision. He even takes the time to try to get to know a potential partner.
Don't wear your black suit. It makes you look like a mortician.
To make a connection, meet that special. Okay, go ahead, go.
Hi.
The only lead Raymond King left behind to track down the accountant was a card from the Harbor Neuroscience Institute. So he made a call to check it out, and luckily, Justine was on the line. She picked up on what was going on and managed to tip Christian off about what had happened to the former director.
Is there a Christian Wolff on staff?
I'm sorry, ma'am, no.
Carl Gauss? Or Charles Babb? Ray King has been murdered.
That's how the meeting got set up.
Mary Beth Medina. Do I make you nervous?
They meet at the house where he had left all the necessary information. The accountant pieces together the puzzle with his unmatched skills in investigative accounting and forensic analysis, and soon realizes that King was working on something personal before his death: the disappearance of a Latino family, father, mother, and son, that according to the file, Anais should have located. Mary Beth and Christian strike up a shaky alliance. She gives him access to classified intel. He begins connecting dots that go way beyond a typical black market audit. He builds a sprawling web of data that traces the family's journey from El Salvador up through the US border, uncovering a trail littered with extortion, trafficking, and disappearances. This sparks the driving force of the film, a mission that starts off personal but quickly turns into a life-or-death search. Christian's genius mind kicks into high gear, approaching the case with the logic of a chess master. He crunches coordinates, timelines, transaction logs, turning chaos into clarity. He maps out the family's route, pinpoints potential abduction zones, follows illicit cash flow, and spots violent patterns in the data. His process is cold, clinical, and terrifyingly efficient. Medina watches in disbelief as he assembles every move from raw evidence. Eventually, Christian heads to Los Angeles to begin quiet interviews and deeper forensic digging.
You got the balls to accuse me of money laundering?
You're laundering money.
Chris, that's enough!
Meanwhile, Justine joins the investigation. The young hacker has taken on a bigger role. She now leads a team of autistic kids in New Hampshire, each with elite-level skills in coding, cryptoanalysis, surveillance, and digital forensics. They operate in a specialized school environment tailored to support their neurodiversity, and their contribution is game-changing. As the fourth member of the team, Christian suggests bringing in his brother Braxton, who's been operating outside the law for years and has access to valuable intel. Medina refuses at first, given his long list of criminal offenses, but ultimately has no choice but to accept his help.
hobbies? No? You don't fish? What do you want?
Braxton, hi. Hello, it's me, Chris.
What do you want?
I need your help.
Ah, goodbye.
Braxton?
I'm Mary Beth Medina, Deputy Director, Financial Crimes Enforcement.
Fed. You suffer a stroke.
Braxton, thank you for coming. I'm really glad you're here.
Did she tell you to say that? Yeah.
Braxton's questionable methods pay off, leading to the capture of a man involved in trafficking women. Even though Medina resists working this way, they capture him in hopes of getting more information.
I imagine there's somebody you call in a situation like that, right? Full disclosure, assholes. Hey, come on, man, we got...
This man may know who killed Ray King. Do you want to know if he knows or not?
We have no right to detain anyone.
Back on the criminal side, Cobb and his handler, Burke, start wiping out witnesses to cover their tracks. But they're also afraid of Annius. They know she's the one who passed along the message to King, and that means any move could trigger her retaliation. Cobb shifts his focus. Before anything else, he has to capture or kill Annius. The resourceful group of children manages to obtain a photo of Annius and identify her. But the privacy violations they must ignore to obtain the necessary clues greatly bother Medina.
Running into pole facial recognition.
Mary Beth begins to question Justine's methods. Hackers extract data from highly restricted networks, and Medina realizes they violate numerous government protocols. To top it all off, Braxton has been implicated in many of the murders in the investigation. She eventually steps away from the team, leaving Christian in a lurch. She confronts him directly. Christian doesn't argue, he just moves on.
Okay, I'm gonna do this myself. By the book, no more lying, no more breaking the law.
This serves as an excuse to take the situation more relaxed, and they finally manage to spend some time as brothers. In a funny conversation, Christian asks what the best pet is for a hitman, a dog or a cat? Which do you think? Leave it in the comments.
What are you doing? Can I get a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
I'm Angie.
Hello, Angie. My name is Chris.
As the investigation deepens, Christian uncovers a much larger threat, a high-level human trafficking ring tied to violent organizations in Juarez and El Salvador. These groups are moving women and children across underground border tunnels. The family in the photo was directly caught in the middle. Father already dead, mother missing, young son detained in a camp. Medina, for his part, continues the investigation in a medical center. The only clue he had gotten about the missing mother was that she had been in an accident. This wasn't some random attack. Annius is, in fact, the mother from the photo. She's been suffering from trauma-induced amnesia after enduring unspeakable torture. Her deadly skill set? Acquired through brutal military-style training during her disappearance. At least, that's what the doctors speculate.
Husband.
Braxton receives a message that Agent Mary Beth Medina is now a contract killer. Christian rushes to her aid as quickly as he can. Annius arrives and attacks her target, now a ruthless assassin.
Hello?
Drop it. Drop it.
During the fight, Agent Medina is seriously injured. Luckily, Christian arrives in time to help her. One image was all it took to unlock her past. And as the memories return, so does her anger. She zeroes in on the man she believes responsible, Burke. Burke is desperate and knows they're after him, while he talks to a mysterious voice that seems to run the entire hitman business. He also orders Cobb to bury all the children so as not to leave any evidence. Yes, that cruel. Bury them in the middle of the desert.
Contracts
Meanwhile, Christian makes a breakthrough. He discovers that the missing son, Alberto, who also has autism, is still alive, being held in a detention camp in Juarez, along with other children ripped from their families. The situation is urgent, and Christian knows he can't pull this off alone. He calls in Braxton, and together they orchestrate a rescue mission. It's not quiet, it's not subtle, but it works. They eliminate Cobb and his guards, storm the compound, and free Alberto and the other children. It's one of the film's most intense sequences: gunfire, blood, high-stakes emotion. And it proves one thing loud and clear: Christian and Braxton's violent talents can serve a higher purpose. Cobb takes all the kids in a school bus to the pit where he planned to bury them. But the brothers follow him, determined to finish their mission. The mercenaries' end is simple, yet realistic. Cornered by two relentless hitmen, there wasn't much else he could do.
Burke is the guy you want! Listen! Burke is the...
Braxton, who had been in the middle of adopting a puppy before his brother called, makes a quick stop to rescue a kitten stranded on the road. After the rescue, Anais regains her memory completely. Despite being away at a nursing home in Costa Rica, she locates him, confronts him, and, without hesitation, eliminates him. Without mercy, without speeches, just closure. Justine, meanwhile, uses her digital reach to neutralize a hit contract that Burke, or possibly Batu, a silent financial backer, had put out on Mary Beth. The threat is lifted, and the moral pressure on Medina disappears along with it. As the dust settles, Christian and Braxton make a quiet pact. They will stay together. After all, they've rediscovered a bond long buried under trauma and violence. They plan a simple getaway, just the two of them. After dropping Alberto off at the neuroscience center, where Justine and the rest of his friends are waiting, Medina has recovered from his injuries and closes the case, ending the clashes at Burke Docks. Driving back down the road, just like the first installment, the film ends. While the movie wasn't exactly a box office hit, pulling in just around $100 million on an $80 million budget, most critics gave it a thumbs up, with generally solid scores. The detective-style plot is now mixed with a bit of comic relief, thanks to the clash in personalities between the two brothers. One major highlight this time is the expanded role of John Bernthal, whose presence in the first film was pretty limited. The good news for fans is that director Gavin O'Connor and writer Bill Dubuque have openly said in interviews that The Accountant was always meant to be a trilogy, so now it's just a matter of waiting for that third chapter to be officially confirmed.
How much are you guys thinking about, is this a franchise? Can we continue?
Whereas I said we should be doing 3 of these. So what's the interstitial movie, which is 2, which is now exactly what we talked about. And we have 3.
On top of that, there are rumors swirling that Anna Kendrick might return as Dana Cummings, possibly giving Christian Wolff the emotional closure fans have been hoping for. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more updates on everything happening in the world of movies. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.